Hey folks, my name's Matthew Smith. I teach guitar. This is my second guitar teaching video in a series of beginner guitar videos. In fact, you might already know plenty about this subject. I want to just talk a little bit about tuning the guitar. So if you are already the master of tuning your guitar, you could probably skip this video. But if you're not sure, or if you're just starting guitar, check out this information. So when I first started teaching guitar, I noticed almost all of my students would come into the lesson with their guitar out of tune. And when I was young and I first started teaching, I didn't think too much about that. I would just be talking to them. I'd grab their guitar, tune it for them, and hand it back. But after a while, it just started to bother me. It dawned on me, people might not really be tuning, and it's not something you talk about a lot or check in again on if you're not thinking about it. Well, sure enough, I started asking the student, yeah, well, when was the last time? And almost everyone's like, oh, I don't really tune it. Or you tuned it for me at the last lesson. Or I tuned it a few days ago. Or it never sounds out of tune to me. So this is always what I would never hear people say, yeah, I tune it all the time. So I've made a habit as a teacher to always remember to urge players to insist to players, you must tune your guitar. Try to tune it every day. Even if you don't have time to really practice, just pick it up, tune it, set it back down if you have to. But definitely every time you pick it up, just assume your guitar has gone out of tune since the last time you played it. And they generally do. Guitars are famous, notorious for going out of tune. Just looking at the guitar will make it go out of tune almost. Temperature change from morning to night, humidity change, the wood fluctuates, playing on it, the strings vibrating, all kinds of things can cause the strings to pretty much always be going out of tune. Sometimes I even have to tune the guitar multiple times in one playing session. So you'll learn about this and figure out what's going on if you start developing a habit of tuning every day. Now, you can use a phone app, and I've seen a lot of people do this. I'll catch myself needing to use a phone app to tune every now and again. There's some good free apps out there. I will say Guitar Tuna seems to be the most famous. If you use Guitar Tuna, go into settings and turn Pro Accuracy on, because the default way it comes up, it allows for you to be really out of tune and still say you're in tune. So there is that. But I actually don't recommend phone app tuners, because here's why. They use the microphone of the phone to pick up the sound of the guitar. So it's like the old days of using those old clunky tuners. You have to tell everyone to be quiet, or you have to turn off the TV, or you have to tell your friend to stop playing for a second while you tune. You have to be in a quiet place to tune your guitar. These clip-on tuners came out in the mid-00s, and since then, these are just by far and away the greatest things that have ever been invented for guitar, in my opinion. They're cheap. You can get them online for a few bucks sometimes. Definitely once you spend about 10 or so, you'll probably get a decent one. And there's some pretty cool ones out there with neat displays that cost a little bit more, but 10, 20 bucks, you should be able to get a really good clip-on tuner. And these are superior to phone tuners or the old-fashioned tuners, because while they do have a microphone in them, and probably while you're speaking, you'll notice the microphone might be picking up the ambient sound of your voice or whatever's going on in the room. The truth is it picks sound up primarily through the vibration. So even if it is picking up and registering a little background noise, don't wait for it to stop, because once you pluck the string, the sound of that string is going to completely dominate and override whatever other input it's getting, and you will get a steady reading. Your first string should be tuned to E. If you put a brand new string on, or just had a guitar shipped to you, this might not be that easy to do. Because there are different E's, and you could accidentally be tuning to the wrong one, and most tuners can't figure that out for you or show you that. So you want it to match this exact pitch. This E, not this E, or this E, or this E. When you read your tuner, I've caught a lot of people doing this thing where they're looking at it and the tuner's pretty much on the center mark, but it's, a little bit down in the red or the yellow or the up or the down. It's not exact. And they'll go, oh, close enough, and they'll just jump to the next string. I've seen so many people do that. But guys, there is no close enough with the electric tuners. You're either in tune or you're not, and you've got to be in tune, because they're already set to allow for usually a 0.5 or 0.7 error variance anyway. And still tell you you're in tune. So insist on that marker showing up right dead center, and adjust the tuning gear up or down with little twists until you can get it to I always say you want one Mississippi, two Mississippi, with it staying right on that center mark, and then you can trust that that's in tune. This is also an opportunity to learn the tuning gears on your guitar, the most important mechanisms on them. After tuning every day, you'll get a good sense of like how much to twist the key to get it to change. And most tuning gears have a slightly different feel to them, the gearing in them and the thickness of the string you're tuning. All of this stuff changes that little bit of how much you turn it. Your second string should be tuned to B. Again, you want to be right on the mark. That's what it should sound like. Third string is tuned to G. You know, I just tuned this guitar like 30 minutes ago, and I'm having to adjust the strings again. The heat came on down here. This is the D string, string number 4. And the 5th string is A. And your 6th string is your thickest string, which even though it looks like it's on the top, a lot of guitarists will eventually learn to call the low E because it makes the low E note that you tune to. Whereas this first string makes a high E. So even though it looks like it's on the bottom, you'll start to call this the high string or the top string. Sometimes I'll go back over the strings real quick one more time if I had to adjust some of them, because strings are famous for not staying in tune if you just tune them. Sometimes they'll drift back out. Alright, so that's my little speech on tuning. Enjoy your clip-on tuner and tuning your guitar every day. If you like these videos, hit subscribe for me. Leave a comment if you have one. Thanks.